The plan today is to show you how I use this tab here, following, news, EU, mentions, discover. I created most of them. And the lists I have, I also created this list. I'll show you how to create all this, how I use them together to make the best use of the chronological order on Bluesky. I love chronology. I love real-time feeds. Okay, let's start with this tabs here. First, depending on the size of your display, you'll also see them here. I'm recording on my MacBook here, so I'm gonna shrink the screen a little bit. See, they are here. So depending on the size, you can also see them here. And this is important because if you wanna save this, right click here and grab the link. This is the only place, as far as I know, where you can find it. So I can right click here, copy the link, and set it as a bookmark if I want to. So let's put this back to the full zoom 100%. And let's talk about this tabs here. You can reach the settings from here. There's this hashtag here, and there's another hashtag here. It doesn't matter, you can click in one or another. Okay. From here, if I can remember correctly, let's go back here. If I can remember correctly, this tab here, Discovery, it was my first tab. It's probably the first tab of everyone when people start using Bluesky. I don't like that. Like I said, I prefer the chronological order. And the first thing I want to show you is that if you click here, edit, you can reorder this. So for example, let's move this back. I think this is how it starts. So now we have the discovery feed as the first one, and then the following. The discovery feed is good to find people, but because I already knew a lot of people and I was simply searching for them, people, news outlets, companies, I simply search for them. I rarely go to the discovery tab, so let's put that back to the bottom of the list. And let's talk about creating these spaces here. Okay, there are some, let me save this. There are some feeds that you can use. There's a list here, many feeds. For example, this one here, mentions, was not here. I had to look for it here. You can write here, mentions. It's on, here it is. So I can add this. I could use the plus on the mentions to add it to the top of the list and then reorder it. I want that because it's easier to find the mentions, people that talk to me sometimes. There's a lot of mentions and I just want to go there and see everything that is there. So that's why I have it there. And you can look for many feeds here. There are so many. For example, my son is a Formula One, F1 fan, and I'm sure Formula. I saw this here. Formula. Here it is. So there's a feed. I don't know who put this together, but there's a feed with a lot of Formula One news. So all you have to do is, let's go back there, is add it to here. And now if I go back, there it is. I can just click here and check the news. And I'm not following those accounts. I'm following, but I'm just looking at them on that tab. So let's go back because that's my son's thing. I don't like Formula One. So let's unpin this. I just clicked here. Let's go back there. And I can even remove this. So if I click here, remove it from my feeds. So if we go back, it's not there anymore. If I need it again, if I want it again, I have to come here, look for it, and add to the feed. So there are many of those feeds that you can look for. I encourage you to try the topics you are interested in and look if there's something there and add it to this top part of the list and rearrange this list the way it's best for you. But as you can see, there is this EU here. And if you paid attention, I have a list here. So that's not a feed, but I can also see it right here. So let me show you how to do that. Oh, but before we get to that, let me show you this, because this is a different way. I organize my tabs on the top by topic. Look, Dr. Frank Buck does it in a different way. It's kind of a priority of reading. So just set up my lists. It's platinum, gold, silver, bronze. So this is how he order it. The platinum people are the ones who content I never want to miss, with others in descending order. So it's a different approach. I don't think this would work for me, but it's another idea to organize your list. So instead of having the feeds there, use the lists that I'm going to show you how to set up right now. So if we go to the lists, I have already 3 lists here, but let's create a new one so I can show you how to do it. So just tap there, create. Let's call this one space. I like space stuff, but it's not something that I want to go to and see a feed and see a lot of news about. I just want it to eventually pop up in my feed, the one I read every day. And that's why I don't have a list. And that's an important topic I'll cover in a moment. Pin that for a moment. When and when I don't want, when I do want, and when I don't want to create a list. But for now, let's learn how to create a list. Oh, and by the way, there is a B-side video for YouTube and Patreon supporters where I talk about the reasons why I'm using Bluesky and why I'm liking it so much. Okay, so now we have the list, and we can go back to our following, and instead of following, because I have to scroll, oh, here it is. Here's a space related account. So I can click here now, click here and add to list, and choose my space list. So now I have a list that I can use, going here and clicking here and reading all the posts. And I can also click here to see all the accounts that are part of that list. And of course, I can click here to remove that person from that list or add that person to a different list. Okay, so let's go back to the lists. As you can see, the EU list has a flag and the other ones don't have an image, and I left it like that because I wanted to show you. So let's drag this a little bit to the corner. Let's shrink this a little bit because I already have here 2 images. I noticed that it's best if the images are square images, but I guess it's going to work even if it's not. So let's click here on YouTube. These are the YouTubers I follow. Again, I can click here and see all of them, or take a look at all the posts. Then I can click here, edit list details. I can also add a description. Oh, by the way, these lists are public, so be careful. Click here, upload, choose the image, done, and here we have it. And since we are here, let's do the same for the other list, this one here. So let's go back, and because I'm not going to use this one here, and I also want to show you how to delete a list, I'm going to click here and delete list, okay? So one important detail about the lists is that you don't have to follow the accounts you have in the list to read and interact with those accounts. So for example, the news list, my news list, has a lot of accounts that I don't follow. And here's why I don't follow them. Let's click here. As you can see, this is a lot. So The Guardian, I notice, is the one that publishes a lot all the time. But as you can see, many of them publish. If we take a look at the numbers, the time here, 8 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, 17 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not here to stay on a, oh, let's make this larger, to stay in a single feed just reading news. I want to interact with people. So I'm not following most of this account. So what I do is, let's go back to home. I read the following tab. I stay here in the following tab. And let's say I want to check the news. I can click here and read the news. But I don't follow these accounts. So I can still read them, I can still interact, I can still click, but I don't have to follow them. Now, how did I put them here? Because this is a list. Remember, this is not a feed that I just showed you. So let's go back here. You can see that I have news and I have EU. I just came here to show you that they are the ones that we created here, the same images here. So it's not from there that we have to do it. We have to do it from here. I can click here on the list and then I can come here, pin to home. So now if I go to the feed list, you see it here. And if I go to my home page, here it is. But I want to make this a little better, so let's reorder this. Let's make YouTube something like, where is it? Okay, here it is. Let's do something like this, okay? So now, if I'm here following and reading the people I follow and I just want to check the news, I can come here. If I want to check news, EU news, I can come here. If I want to check what the YouTubers I follow are up to at this moment, what they're sharing, I can come here. And maybe I just want to take a look at some suggestions from Bluesky. I can come to the Discovery tab. And finally, I can take a look at the mentions to see what people are adding me, talking to me here on Bluesky. That's it for this one. If it was helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to help even more, please consider supporting my work on YouTube or Patreon. Now, if you want to learn more about Bluesky, there are other videos right here. Thanks for watching. See you soon.